Welcome.
Welcome, everybody, to our podcast.
This is Ryan.
I'm Andrew.
What are we doing here? Why don't you tell them the premise, Andrew?
We gotta start over.
We'll edit that part out.
Okay. Well,
So here's the deal. So we are gonna pick a different movie for every podcast.
wait, what's this podcast called?
Oh, that's right. That's a good place to start. It's called We Watch It, or We Watch So You Don't Have to.
Is that?
That's a working title.
Yeah.
It might not. We'll see where it goes.
Yep.
But the whole premise is we pick a movie that's not totally obscure, that's mostly mainstream other than the first movie we started with. And then we're gonna give you a quick little recap, and then we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna have a little fun with it, and hopefully save you the trouble of doing what we just did, which was watch 90 minutes of a terrible movie, The Departed.
Total dog shit.
The Departed starring Leonardo DiCaprio.
No, that movie was badass.
That movie actually was badass.
Instead, what we watched was Inspector Gadget Part 2, not Part 1.
Which we found out after the fact was straight to video.
Directly to video. The first movie starred Matthew Broderick.
Mm-hmm. Big star.
Who you know from Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Godzilla. Amazing movie.
Was he in Godzilla?
Yeah, he was. The first one.
The first Godzilla?
Yeah.
Alright, we're digressing too much. That might be one to watch, actually, Godzilla 2.
That movie had a budget of $90 million.
The first Inspector Gadget.
The first, yes.
Right.
And it did all right. You know, it made about $120 million.
Mm-hmm. Not bad.
Yeah, the box office, pretty solid. The sequel, on the other hand, had a budget of about $12 million.
And it showed.
I don't know if it did well. We just watched it. I'm assuming it didn't.
There's no way.
It was... I don't know what they spent all that money on. I think it was like booze and partying. Certainly not special effects.
Well, yeah, not special effects. And here's what I will tell you. We haven't mentioned this, actually, however many minutes in we are. You should know the star of Inspector Gadget 2, French Stewart. Known for, if that name doesn't ring a bell, he's the squinty-faced guy in Third Rock from the Sun.
From the Sun, yeah.
And he comes on screen immediately in this movie through the tooth hole of a billboard, which makes perfect sense. His face is so punchable. I didn't know if I don't know about you, but there was 4 moments where I was like, yeah, this guy, it's not gonna fly.
It was just so, and I don't know if we want to just dive right in.
Yeah, let's dive in. We're rambling. Let's get into it. Let's get into it.
You know, let's just talk about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, well, why don't we start? Did you watch the cartoon as a kid? Are you familiar with the show?
I did, and I'm gonna have to drop this one on you. You know, so the whole premise of the show, not the whole premise, but one of the big things was that Dr. Claw, his face was never revealed, right?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember
Never
the show?
saw it.
You never
Yeah.
saw
No. I never
the face
saw
of the show.
Never saw his face. I saw the show.
That'd be a hell of a thing to drop on me right now. Yeah, I've never seen the show at all.
No idea what the show's about.
All right, so I found this out very recently, but apparently they revealed Dr. Claw's face shortly after the show, but here's how they did it. They released a toy. Do you want to take a guess? Do you want to see this? Do you want to see what is...
Yeah.
Take a guess. I mean, go ahead and picture in your head what Dr. Claw from the cartoon, not the terrible movie we just watched. What does he look like?
Probably just like an old man.
Oh.
I would guess.
Well, that's actually closer than I thought. Isn't that bad?
Yeah, that's actually terrifying. I wish we're probably gonna have to post this or something.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it is. It looks like G-force winds are coming at this guy.
Yeah, check it out online if you wanna have your childhood ruined. But it's not what you would expect.
Yeah, that was really scary actually. But not as scary as some of the stuff we saw in this movie. But okay, well, before we dive in, what else do you remember about about the show.
Oh, we should give a quick, like, do you want to do the, like, quick synopsis of generally the movie, like, what it's about or whatever? Or no?
Yeah, I mean, the problem is I don't even know what this movie is about.
Just doing sound checks midstream. It's live performance, everyone.
Are we gonna have edits?
No, I mean I told you we would, but there's no.
Okay, so
just fight.
Wow. Okay, well,
that's fine. If they're still listening, they're gonna listen to the rest of this.
They probably dropped off by now.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get them on the next one. Quick synopsis. Why don't you give a quick synopsis? 30 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. So Inspector Gadget, for some reason has robotic arms and legs and neck.
Well, no. What are you doing? No, that's not Inspector Gadget 2. That's Inspector Gadget. You're summarizing the cartoon.
No, that's also the movie. He
does have that.
Yes.
But
well, I only said what he has.
We have to expect that our
I didn't even
audience
get through
knows
one sentence.
who Inspector Gadget is.
Okay, sure. So basically, he's fighting Dr. Claw, and Dr. Claw has these 3 heists, right? Mm-hmm. He's trying to get this
it's
something cell,
ion
cell.
battery.
Yeah, an ion battery. And then, what was the other one? A protoid laser or some shit?
Well, yeah, I mostly got that it was a laser. They kind of skipped over that heist.
Yeah, that one was a little weird. And then a giant, like, over-the-top, like, huge ruby. Okay.
Don't worry about how those come together. But I guess the whole point was that with those, he could somehow freeze time to then steal all the gold bars from this Federal Reserve.
Which is just super cartoony and weird.
And that's sort of his whole plot line, and I think the only thing that you need to know other than that, in order to dive right into this craziness, is Inspector Gadget was clearly successful in the first movie. I'm not sure how, because he's even more of a bumbling idiot than the actual cartoon.
But he has the help of a female companion, IG2.
Penny. Oh.
Perfect. A newer Inspector Gadget who apparently has a more advanced microchip that eliminates all the bumbling mistakes and glitches. Right. Which is something they repeat over and over in the movie. Oh, these glitches.
Yeah, the movie, I think that caught on the set. They were just like, this whole thing is a glitch. And then French Stewart sort of improv that.
Yeah.
That's actually on the IMDb trivia for this.
It's a lemon.
We'll get back to lemons. That's important.
Yeah, that is important.
So that set the scene. Let's dive. I got a lot of things I want to talk about actually.
Yeah. Go for it.
First of all, this movie starts with Inspector Gadget, pulling over an old lady for going 0.3 miles over the speed limit, which is clearly absurd. Yeah. Everything's very cartoony.
He's kind of a dick. He's like a highway patrol cop. Like, oh, you're going slightly over the speed limit. Is that? I don't recall that from the cartoon at all.
No, and it felt very much like he was just sort of like in this corner, like he wasn't like actually doing anything, and it's like he was this thrown away robot, which he actually turns out to be. But the point I wanted to get to, he pulls his old lady over, arrests her or whatever, and she's something about the way she delivers a line when she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, was I speeding?" I was like, dude, she's gonna turn out to be.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Sorry, that was funny.
Yeah, she's. Moving on. But something about the way she said it, with the way she said the line, I was like, she's gonna be the most evil, sadistic character in this whole thing.
Yeah. And
I was hoping it was gonna be like a big reveal at the end and like this crazy thing, but there was a big payoff when they flashed the jail scene and there's this old lady in the holding tank. And she's teaching all the prisoners how to give, like, kidney shots, like punching people in the kidneys to, like, knock them out or something. So she kind of was sort of, like, I guess he was, in a way, he kind of took somebody off the street that needed to be
Yeah, she deserved to be in jail. I mean,
maybe not for the speeding thing, but
clearly, I mean, she beat up everybody in that jail cell, and she absolutely deserved to be there. That was also one of the most like jarring moments of the movie. We're not even 10 minutes in, and this old lady. I mean, there's a lot happening. Okay,
that's good perspective.
His car turned into a rocket ship to chase after her when she's going very slow. And then he zooms past her and then finally slows down, arrests her, throws her in the back of his car, which, by the way, his car is voiced by D.L. Hewley, which...
Nothing like the cartoon.
Nothing like the cartoon, right?
It's a lot like...
Did his car talk? Like, was it like Knight Rider?
No, and it didn't have 4 eyes like it did on the outside and on the inside. That whole thing was just...
He did not need to be... They didn't need
the car to have
a voice.
They could have been totally without that.
Off. Yeah, and then brings her to the jail, and Penny is like, "What are you doing?" And he's just like, "Whatever. I'm gonna arrest this old lady."
Well, he doesn't listen to Penny ever. And can we talk about that? So
yeah,
he's clearly incompetent. I mean, I don't know if we've established that in this podcast. I know we're jumping around quite a bit, but he can't even. I'm not sure he's capable of taking care of himself, and he lives in a house with a dog and a small child, or a teenager at least.
I think the only reason he can hold down a steady job is because he has like certain help from certain talking cars and certain nieces and a certain beagle dog named Brain,
who is played by 2 dogs in the movie,
which is so weird.
Well, it's 2 dog actors. You only know them as 1 dog in the movie, but...
It could have just been the 1 dog, though, right?
Well, I think what happened, actually, is it's Scooter and Riley are the actual dog actors.
Yeah.
There's one scene where Doctor... Doctor...
Claw?
He's not...
Dr. Claw!
That's the doctor. I almost said Dr. Evil, because, I don't know, I guess French Stewart and Matthew Broderick and that look so like...
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about Inspector Gadget making a dessert in his own fucking kitchen, and Penny comes in and she's like, "Oh hey, like what are you making?" And he's like, "Oh, your favorite dessert." Like, and I'm like, "Okay, cool. Like what a nice guy. Like he's an idiot at his job, but like at least he takes care of this niece, you know? Like God knows what happened to her parents. Like thank goodness he's looking after her." And then she's like, "Oh, my favorite dessert," and she names some like asinine like mythical thing. And then he's just like, your second favorite dessert. And it's clear that he knows nothing about her and, like, can't even be, like, actually making food.
It's so weird. And, like, I don't know what happened to her parents or if he was married or anything, but they have a very bizarre, life together. And by the way, when he's making that crazy dessert, the lemon pudding or whatever, it gets so out of control because he's trying to go Gadget like a stir thing, and then it just sprays all over the room and gets all over the dog.
That's what I was going to say. Is that I think that Riley comes in. Scooter doesn't do that type of stuff.
Riley comes in to take the brunt of the dessert spill.
Yes.
Wow.
Because Scooter doesn't play that. So Riley's on set, and they're like, "Cut. All right, bring in the stunt dog," and then just lemon pudding gets thrown all over it.
It's kind of like animal cruelty a little bit, right?
It wasn't comfortable to watch, but what was? I'll tell you. Let's talk about some things we liked. I had some really good laughs actually.
What did you laugh at the most?
Well, there was the one scene where he went undercover and he went to the dive bar.
Oh, you know what? That was funny. And he walked right in, and he looked like a weird pirate with the eye patch. And then he was like trying to lean on something, but it was like
it was a pirate wheel.
Yeah, it was like a steering for a ship.
Yeah, which was weird because he
fell down on it.
Yeah, like casually leaned, like he was being so cool, and like fell on it. Which it doesn't sound funny, and don't watch it, but know that was a genuine. I would
say, we watched the movie. And we laughed out loud at that part. And that was probably one of a handful of parts we laughed at. And then he goes up to the bar, and he doesn't know what to order because he's an idiot.
This was good, too.
And he was like, "I'll take a milk." And then the bartender's like, "A milk?"
By the way, can I mention this is not like a pirate bar? He dressed like a pirate, and he leaned on a pirate's steering wheel. So that's misleading. But this is actually like a biker gangster dive bar.
That really wasn't the theme of the bar at all. It was just that happened to be there.
Yeah.
And it was just coincidental.
Yeah.
So he goes to the bar and tries to order a milk, and the guy's like, milk? And then Inspector Gadget goes, a chocolate milk. Make it a double. And I don't know why, but I laughed.
No, that was funny, but the funniest part was when they flash back to him, and he's down the chocolate milk in one sip, and French Stewart does this hilarious, like, woo! Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, and he looks slams down it on the table.
And his fake mustache is in the glass.
Ugh, and then it goes right back to being exactly what it was before.
The best movie of 2003.
And that's the scene actually when the bikers start grabbing him by the legs and stuff. So one of the segments we wanted to do was if we could rewrite any part of the movie, what would the one rewrite we do? What would it be? So think of yours. I don't know if you have one, but one of the things that I imagined as this was going through, when they had him and he was holding onto the bar and they were pulling his legs and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was so angry at his character right then. I thought it would have been hilarious if they just kind of like the Scarecrow in Wizard of Oz, like ripped him limb from limb.
Right. Just beat him to death.
Just left him there in a pile.
As like a torso. That's really all he is, right? Cause
I don't actually know. No, because he got electrocuted that one time and a skeletal system showed.
I think this movie's full of shit.
It might be.
I think it really is.
Well,
and also, I knew this movie was full of shit, actually, not even a minute in, because right away, his head popped off of his body.
No.
Yes.
No, but connected to his neck still, right?
Kind of.
But that was a cool thing that Gadget always did.
Did Gadget ever do that? He would lose his head, and his head would, like...
No, he'd do, like, Go-Go Gadget neck or something. We should have watched the cartoon.
He is human, though.
Inspector Gadget?
Yeah. Is he human or a cyborg? That's really my question.
Well, I think mostly he is. Yeah, that's interesting. He's got robotic parts, but I think deep down somewhere he's a human. I think they tried to make him more robot than he was in the cartoon, possibly.
He was nearly entirely robot in this movie.
And we should say it's been a long time. I think you said this up front. It's been a long time since we saw a cartoon, so it's just these like fun childhood memories, and I think maybe we're forgetting maybe all the details. But I don't think he was just a robot. I thought he was this, like, sort of seemed to be, like, he was a bumbling detective, but he was mostly, like, he ended up being, like, capable and, like, a good guy, and that just didn't come off. Everything seemed much more robotic here, but I think they were trying to be, like, futuristic. I'm doing air quotes. You can't see that on the radio.
But I can see it.
You can see it, so that's all that matters.
God, what else? I mean, there's so much to talk about. We haven't even talked about not even his sidekick, the G2.
Well, you tried to mention it, but then I said Penny over top of you, and you just failed.
That's right.
And that was actually during the summary, so people will probably...
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't even know if she was in the cartoon at all, but she was, like, the newer, improved
No, she wasn't in the cartoon.
Gadget.
You didn't watch the cartoon, you lied to me.
You're saying that out of the 3 years that the cartoon aired, you know for a fact that Inspector Gadget
G2.
Oh, you know what? They probably did that for the sequel.
Yes, they did it for the sequel.
No, but do you think she was... Why would they introduce her as a character?
Because that show went on for left after the first
That show went on for 3 years, and they made one movie. They could have made another movie about another, like...
No.
Sidekick character.
Yeah, they could have done a lot of things, but they didn't, and that was... They were grasping at
Think
straws.
about, like, Batman. Like, they make, a sequel or whatever... And they don't just invent new stuff. Like, they didn't have Batman Squared or Batman 2. They have all these other characters,
Well, that's what she is. She's another character. But she's
a made-up character for
But she's way better than him. It's actually, like, so there's okay, this is good. This is getting to... This dialogue's getting us to plot lines. Mm-hmm. This is good. It's flowing now. Okay.
I'm feeling it.
Okay, so, he spends a certain segment of the movie... He gets fired because he's just the worst at his job, which is fine. But the point is that he tries a series of odd jobs, including, what are they, like chef? Mm-hmm. Fails at that. Well, we already saw him do some cooking, and it was bad.
He was like a bellboy.
Bellboy or something. Yeah. But dresses a toy soldier. Right?
That's weird.
Have you ever seen
he wears that costume for so long, like
most of the movie actually. He's in a
when he's done with that job, he's still in that outfit.
He's still in that outfit. He was actually in that outfit so long. I was like, I want him to stop wearing this outfit. And it's like the movie Heard Me, because immediately afterwards he took it off and threw it in a trash can, and then went to a closet with all of his like trench coat stuff and put that on. But like the like main love scene where he's like falling in love with G2, spoiler alert. He's falling.
Yeah, because you're gonna see this movie.
Yeah, so he's falling. It's only on video, so it's not.
Definitely, it hasn't been in theaters since ever.
Because it only went straight to the videos. Actually, check those bins at Walmart that have it's holiday times. I don't know. Well, now we're dating it, yeah. But you can imagine if it was seasonal and you want to get a gift.
This.
Yeah,
it's on Netflix,
no one will see it because the movie. Yeah.
What were you talking about?
I was talking about this. What we're doing right now.
Oh yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, he's still in this stupid toy soldier bellhop outfit.
It was so weird.
Can we talk about the Minions? The Minions.
Yeah, and honestly, there's so much left to talk about. We haven't even scratched the surface, but let's talk about the Minions real quick.
Dr. Claw.
Why don't you talk about
And Andrew, just so everyone knows, Andrew's asking me to talk about the Minions because this bumbling crew of idiots the entire time through the movie, by putting on simple wigs and sunglasses, actually tricked Andrew into thinking they weren't the Minions. He had to ask over and over, like, oh, look at that band. Like, who are they? It's like, yeah, that's
it only tricks Inspector Gadget and me as a viewer. Yeah. But nobody else. Everybody saw right through it.
And for context, for those of you not living in 2003, Minions aren't the little yellow creatures from Despicable Me. They're what Dr. Claw calls his, like, sidekick, his henchman. And he's got these two henchmen that are just the worst, which is totally in line with the movie. It's, like, totally acceptable. But then he does tryouts. And he gets at least two very competent minion. We'll call them henchmen from now on because that's more accurate. Yeah. But one of them is a legitimate all-out ninja. So now you've introduced ninjas to this movie.
Yeah, like doesn't show his face, like in full ninja garb, like wielding two swords, like flips and stuff. And it's so out of place because, like, clearly he's the most badass one, And, like, they needed, like, 5 of those guys, but instead they got one of the ninjas, and then who are the other guys? Just creepy-looking motherfucker.
Well, the one guy is, I guess he's Australian they're trying to do?
The one guy was bald.
He looks like, what's the guy with, like, the ponytail, like, he's in all those, like, Tarantino movies, like, is it Edward James Olmos? Or am I making, no, not Edward James Olmos. The guy from Machete.
Oh, Danny Trejo?
Yeah. Did he kind of look like that?
Yeah, I mean, kind of.
Well, in that he had a ponytail, I guess.
I was just so shocked by the bald guy with the bleeding teeth.
I don't think what those were, but that guy was terrible.
I hated him so much. Every time he came on screen, I was just, like, disgusted.
But yeah, and he wore a sleeveless Britain flag t-shirt. So what you now have is Dr. Claw, who, by the way, doesn't have the hand, the, like, cool, like cat petting metal hand that he has in the cartoon. It's an actual stupid, simple claw.
Like grabbing a stuffed animal out of the machine claw.
Yes, exactly. Very, very simple.
Super literal.
It's him, his 2 original henchmen, the 3 guys that he upgraded to, which are just an insane cast of characters that we just described, and all these guys. Where would they hang out? What's their hideout?
If I had to guess, probably a bowling alley.
Yeah, it's a bowling alley. That makes sense. Yeah, and bowling is mentioned throughout this movie.
It is so weird how bowling was like this underlying theme. Like, there's a scene where there's like a bomb being strapped to somebody. I don't want to reveal to whom.
It's Penny.
Made out of Penny. Made out of bowling pins, and the bowling ball is like the timer. And
like, why? Why?
There were guys like juggling bowling pins for some reason at one point, and like Yeah,
oh, yeah.
They keep showing the establishing shots like of the bowling alley. It's like, yes, we know this is the bad guy. Like, hang out, like you don't have to keep showing it. And the editing, do you remember how weird that was?
Oh, yeah. So every time they would just pan to a scene of the outside the bowling alley, and it's like, by the way, if we see Dr. Claw, his henchman, and the internal area of his hideout, we know what's happening. Like, we don't need that cue to be like, hey, like, we're back at the bad guy's hideout. But, like, they just hang on it every time. And then sometimes they do this, like, triplicate, like, zoom in shot.
Like crossover fade thing. I don't even know how to explain it.
It's tough to describe. It was insanity.
They'd use like different angles. They knew that they were showing the same establishing shot 10 plus times, but they tried to make it like new and fresh with like different editing techniques.
Yeah.
And it was so ridiculous.
Yeah. Outrageous. Speaking of bowling's definitely one of the sponsors of this movie. Just bowling in general. Mm-hmm. All the bowling alleys, all the bowling, the bowling association, they all got together. Lemon's mentioned in this movie more times than the favorite dessert of Penny's got upstaged by some lemon dessert. They mentioned making lemonade out of lemons all over the place. But other sponsors include definitely Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
Definitely Energizer batteries.
Oh yeah, Energizer.
McDonald's is in this movie. I don't know,
countless times.
4 times?
Oh my god, we haven't even talked about, I think I know
the science
fair.
Convention. Excuse you.
The science convention was ridiculous.
It's tough to describe, but this science convention that happens in the middle of the movie, I'm actually not sure why. I think because possibly the lasers there. I'm not.
Dare I say that this was the first time where this movie crossed into another movie universe, being Hunger Games, and that the host of this science convention looked like the same lady from the Hunger Games, who was like, what
dressed like her, act like her,
same hairstyle. Like, it was so otherworldly.
We'll say what she said. What did she say?
May the odds be ever in your favor.
Let's say it like a lady.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
Yeah, nailed it.
I probably fucked it up.
Nailed it.
But
we're gonna have to. You're gonna have to go to the website and check it out. The picture, nothing does it justice. Her outfits are over the top.
Pearl necklace, like the huge hat. Looks like she's going to see like the Kentucky Derby.
No, it's not even a hat. It's a 4 foot wide bow on the back of her head. That's a bow.
She wasn't wearing a hat.
I don't believe so.
I don't even. Oh, you know what? But all the women in the audience, like suddenly it was just like, what freaking planet are we on?
It was a science convention, which I think happened.
That's not the demographic, though.
I don't know why that was happening, but I know the science convention I think happened only so that Inspector Gadget could get some sort of bug or tracking device planted on him, which created some wacky scene. But getting back to the McDonald's and why that was at the science convention, we're a little bit disjointed right now. But the point is, in the background of most of the science convention is a huge McDonald's sign, like they're having it in some like food court or something. He's eating McDonald's food and like showcasing it all over the place. And at the top it says brain food in like big letters.
Yeah, McDonald's is not brain food.
I think it was in 2003 though.
Oh.
So that's where you have to make sure that...
Fucking McDonald's, man.
Well, now you've ruled them out as a sponsor. Oh. Like, you mean fucking McDonald's?
Fucking McDonald's, give me some of that brain food, man!
That's good.
It's starting to sound like D.L. Hewley over here. Am I right?
You mean Gadget's car?
Go Gadget Mobile.
Who does nothing, transforms into nothing.
He didn't help out at all. He was just the comic relief, I guess, even though French Stewart was kind of comedic throughout the entire thing.
He seemed a lot less squinty than...
Yeah, he had his eyes open.
So, I guess, is he squinting in third? Like, so did he spend his entire time on Third Rock from the Sun? They're like, hey, squint a little bit more. And he's like, I don't do that. And now everyone knows him that way? And like,
I really can't see if I do that, but okay.
Yeah,
and then he probably did that for what? Like, that show went on for like 8 seasons or something.
He lost like 4 years of his life with his eyes closed playing this role.
He probably feels weird when his eyes are open.
It actually changed. Yeah, he evolved a bit, and now he has sensitivity to the sunlight.
Maybe he was able to see how shitty this movie was.
Doubtful. Boom roasted, yeah. What else we got? Hey, I have one thing.
Yeah?
We need helicopter hats, dude. That shit is cool.
That is so cool. If you can get it to work, you're going to need the G2 chip for that. Spoiler alert.
If you have that, you have less glitches. In fact, almost no glitches.
Almost none.
Almost none. And then everything's solved, and you're good to go.
I think it's about that time that we kind of discussed the end of the movie. In my notes here, I see that there was a lot of freezing time going on. Mm-hmm. What do you think about all that?
About freezing time, what do I think about freezing time in general? That's quite the bomb you just threw over to me.
Probably with regards to this movie.
Oh, okay. I felt, well, it wasn't clear how it all came together. It was pointed at just a small area of town. Gadget really ran over a bunch of people during that time. He caused more damage than anything.
Yeah.
Dude, I gotta be honest. I don't know how the movie ended because it was just it was grating on me by that point. And
I know.
I'm looking through.
I will say the special effects up until that point were garbage.
Oh yeah,
but
that was kind of nice.
That scene with time being frozen and everything going into like slow motion to stopping entirely was pretty cool. I'm saying not pretty cool in general, but pretty cool for the movie.
Well. Yeah, I know we say, like, the name of the podcast is, like, we watch so you don't have to, but, like, you should go find that part of the movie and you should watch it, because it was cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
There's, like, a dog jumping, catching a frisbee, bam, time frozen.
Yeah.
What else? Kid jumping, doing a cannonball, time frozen.
In a pool. Boom, frozen. There was, like, a plane flying through the air.
Frozen.
Frozen.
Thousands of people are getting frozen. And when they got unfrozen... Literally no knowledge of being frozen.
No, it was like
the chief who we haven't talked about, who's terrible.
It was like Men in Black, like the memory eraser thing.
Well, I guess what would be like if time was really frozen?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Or that.
Well, except that some people, like for instance, the guard at the front of the like Federal Reserve, when he got pushed over, he would wake up on the ground and his world would be rocked. He would be like, "What happened to me? Like I was standing up."
Like that was in a split second.
Not even. Yeah, now I'm on the ground. What does he do? How does he live the rest of his life knowing that, I don't know. This town, I don't know. Fuck this town. This town, all this town does
What is the name of this town? Boom.
Rivertown or Riverton?
I think it's Riverton.
I think it's Riverton. All I know is on the front page of the paper, on every day, is just a status on how Inspector Gadget's doing on his job. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? It's like, hey, Andrew's doing, like, decent today, like, whatever. Like, Andrew showed up 5 minutes late today.
That would be nice. I'm just kidding.
Hey, shout out to Andrew's employer if you could buy a front page ad.
That'd be great.
Great.
I just remembered a funny thing about the movie.
Quickly breezing over shout out to your employer, I noticed.
When the bad guys steal the ruby, they drive away in the car.
It's a tiny ruby, mind you.
Tiny, super tiny. It's enormous. Jump in the car and drive off. It's a hearse, actually. The license plate said "Crime Pays."
Crime Pays. Crime spelled wrong.
Y.
Yeah.
Which is confusing for kids who are watching the movie.
Well, I don't think anyone's watching the movie, so it doesn't matter.
We're watching the movie.
We did watch the movie. Mm-hmm. Also, fun fact, while we're talking about license plates, Inspector Gadget, when he's chasing down the old lady in the beginning who does the wicked kidney punches that I talked about, his car in that moment has an Ohio license plate. So perhaps the movie takes place in Ohio or he's from Ohio. I don't know. We gotta look that up. We should look that up.
You would assume, right?
It sounds like a place that could be in Ohio, but it didn't look like Ohio at all in the movie. In fact, it looked like one.
Working for the police in that state, it's likely that he would have the same, license plate as what's in that state, right?
Well,
Riverton, Ohio.
Well, that was just the news. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess so. Right. Well, so there's that. We pieced that together.
But who knows if that was the case in the cartoon? Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think the cartoon got into the.
I don't know how faithful they were to the cartoon. I have no idea.
What else? What else you got? Anything major? I think we're approaching the.
The only thing is that whenever Inspector Gadget would try and like discipline Penny, he was like this father figure to her. She knows that he's an idiot.
Yeah,
she knows. She knows that she's spent the past however many years getting him out of all these like extreme situations. Mm-hmm. So he would try and discipline her, and she would just say,
"Never mind you." Is that what it was?
Never mind that.
Never mind that.
Yeah, and it was like this weird Jedi mind trick where it's like, no, stop that.
He would be like, "You went to the crime scene. You can't do that. This is gonna happen." And she'd be like, "Never mind that. How about this?" Well, I think actually he wanted to discipline her, but like the information she said after that was so valuable that he was like, "Oh well."
I would argue that Penny is better at fighting crime than G2.
Yeah, well, yeah, which explains why this whole like program that they're doing, this robotic program, is just complete garbage. And
oh yeah, she kept saying, "Halt your felonious act."
Yeah, she said that possibly. I mean, conservatively 9 times.
About 100. Yeah.
109 is what we're gonna say.
9 to 109.
Anywhere in anywhere in that range, it was said. But actually, doing the movie, she must have said it. Well, probably also 9 times. They probably did one take through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Start to finish, just knock this out.
I would not be surprised if that was the case.
The town of Riverton, Ohio, probably had no idea what was going on. They were just like, okay, like I guess there's French Stewart, whatever. No one recognizes him.
Is that even a real city in Ohio?
No, I don't think it is.
Should be.
Let's see. Last, what we got? Any other highlights? I guess. I got Manhand here. Manhand in big letters.
I've got bowling shoes were everywhere in this movie. That was pretty strange.
Oh, radio pillows. That was the big hit at the science convention. Radio pillows. So, hey, everyone out there, if radio pillows aren't a thing, why the fuck not?
Yeah.
Actually, why the fuck not?
Well, I will say, like, at the end of that scene with the science convention, they all crashed into the pillows, and then all this, like, fluff and feathers flew into the air. No radios.
Well, it's probably synthetic or, cotton
Don't
radio
try to
wires.
explain it. They were fucking pillows.
Can you imagine?
And the guy...
Well, hold on. What do you ever listen to music going to bed or something?
No, not even once.
Okay, well. There's... All right, let's take a poll of the listeners out there.
This isn't live radio.
That's right.
People aren't going to dial in. Oh, wait. Line number 1.
How can we... Oh, we'd have to do live radio.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's next. Okay. Should we get a little teaser of our next, what we're doing next for...
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know...
That might be too much of a commitment, actually. And completely pointless, because by the time this is posted, so will the second one be. Let's just shout something out, and it's like...
shout out to Matthew Broderick for saying no to this movie. Wise choice. French Stewart, I hope your career turns around.
He's doing okay. He's doing good.
Yeah,
He got a piece of whatever they made, which was somewhere more or less than $12 million.
He definitely got a piece of that. Small.
He got a piece of G2, I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah.
At the end of the movie.
She was that spandex outfit.
You can't end the podcast with inside jokes. How do we sign off? So, let's give a quick. If anyone's listened to this all the way through, God bless you. It was rocky there at the start. I feel like it picked up. It's going to gain a lot of steam from here. It's going to gain so much steam. We're figuring this out. Keep listening.
Yeah, we're excited to keep doing this, and yeah, I'm excited.
And this is Ryan signing off.
This is Andrew. Love you.
And this has been the pilot episode of...
You forgot the name. We watch it so you don't have to.
I did forget the name of it. All right, bye.
Bye.